Hey girls, okay, I am back for the challenge video section. I actually did challenges 1, 2, and 3 real quick on the example I was just using in the regular session video. So I'm going to walk through all 3 of them in a little more detail here and then show you all of them employed at once and where they are in the code. So challenge number 1 was just adding more form fields, more questions to learn more that you could include. So it could be someone's favorite class at school, their favorite place to go on vacation, their favorite activities, their favorite movie or TV show. And then you can change the text in the welcome paragraph tag area to use those answers as well. You can even share your favorite movie or class with them too. I picked the favorite class at school question and then shared mine. For the second challenge, we would be asking them for their lucky number and then using that lucky number to set the font size of either the entire website, which to me feels a little bit difficult because there's a lot of things to change and someone might not know the implications of it. But you could have them do something very similar to what you have up here. And so they could set just the welcome element style. Overwrite that right there. So now we'd be setting the font size of the element with the ID welcome, which is our paragraph tag that welcomes. And we're setting that font size to whatever number they enter, whatever gets the value of their my number submission, which gets stored in a variable called number. And then we have to append px for pixels, because if we wrote this ourselves, this would have to look like 24px, the same way that it does when we're up in our CSS. I don't think I have any CSS in here, so I can't really show that. But that's what we would do if we wanted to allow them to enter a number and then do something with that. It might be tough. They might not understand exactly what that's for and then be confused as to what it does. So you could add some instructional text, but you also could just make it kind of a fun joke. And then the last challenge was using CSS to style that welcome paragraph tag. So right now you remember that originally mine was just black text on my white background, didn't look very fancy, didn't stand out very much. But if you wanted to put a border around it, change the color of the text, any way that you can normally style stuff, you could put a special background color in just that area so that it really stands out. If you're considering it like a big display that's blinking a welcome message, you might want it to stand out more than everything else. And you can always use your own colors before you have somebody else that's going to change everything with their answers. Okay, so let's come in here and let's look. You'll see I now have what looks like just a gigantic number of questions all together. So I start off, I have, go ahead and refresh this. I start off and I ask for a favorite color. This was in here before. I start off asking for my name, which is right here. I have added, starting off with my favorite class, which now has its own unique ID, obviously, and then it has a placeholder that prompts. Then I still have the animal question, which still has the same ID. Then I've added the my lucky number is, and I have the my number ID. So I have all 5 of those questions. I have my submit. I have Snoopy still ice skating, and I've added a little bit of style to my welcome paragraph tag just to make it a little more interesting for someone who's waiting. So now let's say I fill this out. Still going to pick light blue. Still going to enter my name. I'm going to say reading, or the reading part of English class, if I'm being more specific, was my favorite class. The best animal is otters because they hold hands while they're floating. And let's say my favorite number is 9. Now, we know from looking at the CSS right here that in all of these places for the paragraph, for the welcome paragraph tag, I have set a font size of 24. I also have that in all of my form field elements. So we know that if we're about to change the text in here to 9, it's going to get a lot smaller, a lot faster. This is when I say that just asking for a lucky number, what if someone's lucky number is 2? It's going to be a little bit difficult for them. But let's try it at 9 and see. So we click submit, changes our background. That's great. Here is the very difficult to see answer, which is to say, welcome, Elise. I like otters too. I'm glad you like reading. My favorite class is math, because I answered my own question in a different fashion. But now let's say someone did enter 2 as their favorite number. I don't think anybody could read that. So we might want to say, what is your lucky number that is greater than 10 or something like that, just to give people a little bit of guidance. Or you might have to go in the other direction, because what if someone's favorite number is 251? This is also very, very hard to follow. So you might have to put some parameters in there if you want to make this, if you really wanted to make this a functioning thing to share. But for example's sake, it's fun to just play with a lot of random different numbers. So you can do pretty much anything there. So those are the 3 challenges that we could employ if you were looking for some different ways to move past just the basic couple of things that you can add and react with your JavaScript. You can ask as many questions as you want. You can change that welcome text as much as you want. You can add a second type of a welcome tag, for example, another one with a different ID. And if you wanted to have some of the answers change the text in the first paragraph tag, and some of the other answers change the text in the second paragraph tag, then all you would need to do is when you were in here and you're setting everything like this, you would use this for the first set of things that you wanted to change. And then you could copy exactly that and just change the ID that's in here to be whatever you call the next ID. So it could be welcome to, or it could be goodbye. If you were putting a goodbye at the end that you wanted them to see after they scrolled to the bottom of the page and you wanted to use their name in both places, you could use this same line and have get element by ID welcome, and then get element by ID goodbye. And it could be goodbye name, anything like that. So there's lots and lots of options for you to be able to be creative. These are just some very basic ideas. And again, you can always come back and do the challenges at a different time. This is a lot to take in this month, so definitely focus on getting the other things working and understand those. And then you can always come back and add these later as you would like to. Again, whether it's for the regular session or whether it's for the challenges, if you have any questions, please reach out, email us and let us know so that we can help as much as we can before the virtual sessions start. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Good night.